Hello everybody and welcome to the Red Bull Ring for round 6 of the 2019 Euroformula Open. My name's Chris McCarthy. It's a pleasure to be here this weekend, and up in the commentary box as ever is Elliot Wood. Elliot, welcome to Austria.
Yeah, it's a great country to be in, very hilly. Our session has been declared as wet, although we can't see any clouds on the horizon, so maybe the weatherman's ahead of us on that one.
Yeah, well, of course, yesterday we did have a shower at one stage, and it was during the Euroformula Open practice session. And today there are scattered thunderstorms predicted, so we are not too sure, as ever in Austria, what the weather is going to do. But as you said, the session has been declared wet. Now, we haven't really been able to see what the guys can do in these conditions around here yet, but we have had wet races this season.
Indeed, we had the Po Grand Prix, where Billy Munger quite famously won, with a brilliant strategy picking different tyres to the opposition. But with a limited tyre allocation this season, a lot of teams have been saving their tyres for today's qualifying and race. So we're hopefully going to be seeing a lot of them changing it around.
Well, we will find out, I guess. We only have 25 minutes to sort this one out. A minute and a half of that has already gone. Let's bring you up to speed with what has happened so far this season. We have, of course, been to Paul Ricard Po, Hockenheim, Spa, and last weekend we were at the Hungaroring. Marino Sato, well, he's been unbeaten in the last 2 rounds, and he has a very, very comfortable championship lead as a result of 81 points. So Marino Sato on 208 points. Lucas Dunner, though, he is the home hero this weekend. He hasn't had a win so far this season. He has had a few podiums, though, 5 podiums in total for Lucas Dunner. He will be hoping to get off to winning ways this weekend. He is second in the championship. Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda are unfortunately not with us, but Julian Hanses in 5th in the championship is and has the chance to move forward with some good results. Likewise, Linus Lundqvist, who is 3rd in the rookie stand-ins, and with Lawson and Tsunoda not here, if Lundqvist has a perfect weekend in terms of rookie scores, he can actually take the lead in those standings.
Brilliant job if he does do that. We, as well as Lawson and Tsunoda, Tepe Natori isn't here either, who normally drives a Carlin. All 3 of them have clashing commitments, unfortunately. We do have a strong 14-car field. A lot of the drivers haven't seen this track before in the dry. Did in the wet, because there was a test earlier this year. So it'll be interesting to see what pace not only they bring, but the new tyres bring this session.
And talk us through that test. What did we learn from that test?
It wasn't much, because it was very, very wet. It was probably as wet as you can get at this circuit without it having to stop running. But a lot of the drivers credited it for getting used to the car, because it was quite early on in the season, and it's going to be a good reference if it does start raining again.
And bring us up to speed with those new tyres as well, in terms of how it might affect things around this circuit.
So Euroformula Open's tyre supply, Michelin, brings a limited supply to each round, and you can use them for more than one round. So a lot of teams actually save tyres, for example, at the Hungaroring last weekend, because it was very hot, and they didn't run new tyres in practice yesterday either, so the times weren't quite as representative as they normally be, and they've saved them for today. With this circuit having so few corners, you would expect that tyres don't do that much work, but it's also very high speed, and there's a lot of work going on at the wheel at the same time.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this track. You know, it should be a track that provides close racing, given its layout. We have those gravel traps between turns 4 and 7 on the exit of the corners, which was talked a lot about at the Grand Prix, which was not here so long ago. But likewise, the final 2 corners, not gravel traps on the exit, but it was catching people out, the rumble strips on the exit of the final 2 corners.
There's various man-made obstacles to stop drivers from breaking track limits there, and often called sausage curbs. Christian Hahn, driving for Carlin, he avoided a sausage curb, actually destroyed his front wing in pre-practice yesterday for one of the smaller obstructions just off the track. So drivers have got to be extra careful when being super committed through those final 2 turns.
And you mentioned there's not a lot of corners here, is there? But there are a lot of high-speed corners. Do you think that's going to have an effect on tyre wear?
And we just saw Billy Munger demonstrating what happens when you go over track limits, bumping over the curbs there. The tyre wear should be all right here. Brake wear should be fine as well, because you're only on the brakes for I think less than a quarter of the lap. So it's a very different circuit to all the ones they've raced at so far.
Well, enough of us chatting around. Let's have a talk about what's going on track so far. It looks as if Marino Sato is leading the way at the moment with a 125.879. Just 200ths behind that is Julian Hanses. Lucas Dunner at his home circuit is about 4 tenths back. Have you had a chance to catch up with Lucas? In fact, we'll come back to that because this is Billy Munger running wide. Talk us through what happens here.
That is a very big jump over the curbs there, and that could damage the floor of the car. He was fastest in Sector 1 out of everyone. Looking at his Sector 2 time, he is again very quick, just 0.006 slower than the second fastest middle sector. So he could go to the top with this lap.
Oh, well, that's a good spot. We'll keep an eye on that. Jack Doohan is back in 3rd place, but not for long because Javier Gonzalez goes up to 3rd. And we have in 4th place, I think that is Pierre-Louis Chauvet.
Chauvet and Gonzalez both drive for RP Motorsport, and this is looking to be their strongest weekend of the season so far. They've been further down the order and in recent weeks, but in free practice, both of them were at the top for brief periods, and I think top 10 pace definitely.
Well, we do see this in championships, particularly in Euroformula Open, as seasons go on and drivers start to get more and more confident. Now we're at round 6. Sometimes we do see some new drivers come to the fore, and that wouldn't be a bad thing in this series at all. Okay, Billy Munger, purple in Sector 1. So Billy Munger on a flyer at the moment. Currently, he is down in 14th place, having not put in a respectable time by his standards. But let's see what he does. He's 5 seconds off, so he hasn't really pulled the pin yet. And we pick him up now, Elliot.
He looked very loose there through, I believe that is turn 4. And he did complain about that in free practice, that he had so much more room for improvement through the middle sector of the lap, especially on turning. So, and you see again, he's got working a lot of the wheel, considering how easy you could consider these corners to be.
Well, let's see him. Let's follow him as he goes up to the last 2 corners. This is Ring Corner, turn number 7. Here we go. These 2 very, very quick corners. This is the first one of them. And now through the last corner. You've got to be careful of those sausage curbs on the exit. And he looks like he's negotiated that very well. The Carlin driver up to the line. What does he do with this time? He goes top. Billy Munger going to provisional pole position then. 125.305. And I tell you, if Billy can get a win here this weekend, he would follow in the footsteps of his Carlin teammate Colton Herter, who is the last person to take a win around here in this formula. So Billy Munger doing very, very well at the moment. However, Marino Sato is just 700ths behind, but we'll step away from that because we've got a new driver at the top, Elliot, in Julian Hanses.
Yeah, he's a second motor park car. We've got another replay, Billy Munger going over the curbs again on the exit of turn 1. A lot of work there. Hanses has just gone fastest by over 1/3 of a second. That's a great lap by Hanses. And we've got someone who's being pinged for track limits. That is Jack Doohan of Double R Racing.
Well, I watched, actually went up to turn 1, watched at a couple of different places yesterday whilst practice was going on. The problem with turn 1, of course, it is uphill, isn't it? So you've got to carry a lot of speed up there, and it tightens on the exit, and I think that's what's catching people out.
Definitely, and it's you can almost pivot the car on the apex without putting the foot on the throttle, and then get the car in a straight line and pushing out. but that obviously does. If you don't get the steering wheel completely straight, it launches you straight onto those curbs.
Well, for anyone out there who may drive this track a lot in sim racing, for example, you'll know you have to brake on the curb on the outside going in just a little bit, then turn in, and you've got to use the sausage curb on the exit to maximise speed coming out of the corner. That is what people are telling me this weekend. Right, Julian Hansis leading the way. However, his lead is coming down. It is less than 2 tenths now, with Christian Hahn in second. Billy Munger, third place. Marino Sato is fourth. Then it's Lucas Dunner in fifth place. Callan Williams is sixth place. Linus Lundqvist is seventh. Jack Doohan, eighth. Javier Gonzalez is ninth. Then Cameron Daz rounds out the top 10. With Pierre-Louis Chauvet, Aldo Vesante, and Nikolai Kiergaard 13th. Rui Andrade is 14th place at the moment. I believe we did have a change somewhere there.
Marino Sato, our championship leader, had his best lap deleted. He's now down to 8th. He is in the pits, so he's not going to be responding to that time very soon. We've got at least half of the field in the pits right now. Looking to see what tyres changes they make, because this is a very crucial part of Euroformula Opens qualifying. It's what you do in the middle of the session and what changes you make for your second run.
So what have we tend to saw this season so far? What is the strategy the teams usually go for?
It's usually been at the very last minute, so when the track's at its quickest is when the best laps are set. We have had a few more cars in the previous round, so traffic's also played a factor. Despite the shortness of the circuit, it doesn't look like any drivers have been held up by one another so far. Aldo Festante, who's a Teo Martin Motorsport driver, we've seen Christian Hahn going into the pits and Aldo Festante's leaving the pits. He is one who on previous occasions has gone out in the middle of the session when no other cars are on track, and he's tried setting his fastest laps then. Strategy hasn't quite worked, but he doesn't seem to be afraid to try it again this weekend.
Yeah, well, you know, some drivers like to have a target to aim for. Some like to try and pick up a toe. Others just like the track to themselves. Whilst it is quiet, they like to show the rest of the crowd what they can do on their own. Here we can see then we're down in pit lane at the moment, and this is the quiet part of the session, isn't it? Changes we might see at this stage, is it going to be tyres at all, or is it just going to be tyre pressures? Or
yeah, they might change front and rear wings, not physically change them, but turn them a little bit just to change the downforce levels on the car, because there's a lot of straights on this track, so you want a low downforce setup. Equally with high-speed corners, if you've got too little downforce, you can spin off quite easily.
Well, this looks like Lucas Dunner, who was having tyres changed. That is how you should take turn one. That looked pretty good onto the sausage curb. Just looking actually to see if there was a message coming up on our screen, but we will ignore that until we know what it is for sure. But there you can see your top six: Hanses, Hahn, Munger, Dunner, Williams and Lundqvist. Any surprises for you so far?
Not so far. I believe if Aldo Festante does set a fastest lap, we shouldn't be too surprised. But then later on in session, if that lap is beaten, that's purely because the track is at a faster level at the very end. We did see on our Lucas Dunner replay, and if they show a shot of his car in the pit lane, he has a Niki Lauda tribute helmet this weekend. It's a fluorescent orange and says Niki Lauda on it. And obviously, he has the first corner of the circuit named after him since he died earlier this year.
And the tunnel that takes you from the side of the circuit we are on, the outside of the home straight, to the paddock on the inside, known as the Walk of Legends, where all the drivers walk as they come in the morning to get to the paddock. There is a tribute across one side of the wall, isn't there, to Niki Lauda, which is fantastic. The other side of the wall has drivers and champions that have won here at the Red Bull Ring, and the other side is just for Niki.
Yeah, it's a very nice gallery, you could say. So I'll tell anyone to come visit this circuit and check it out. And also, there's great views for the fans here. The grandstands are they're not as packed as it would be if Max Verstappen was racing here this weekend, but incredible sight of the circuit and the valley it's nestled in.
It's quite small, isn't it? It's smaller than I was expected as a circuit. Everything's quite compact. But one thing I think that we talked about immediately when we arrived, elevation changes. They are very, very large, aren't they? You have to come and see them to really know how big they are.
Definitely, and it's what makes turn one and the final corner such challenges as well. Because you may have everything keyed up for if it was a normal flat corner, but because of the elevation change, you might be picking up more speed than you'd expect, or going uphill, it just naturally slows you down.
It Does indeed. Well, let's talk about pole positions. 4 have gone the way of Marino Sato this season. 2 to Dunner, 2 to Lawson, who is of course not here, 1 to Hanses, and then 1 to Matsushita, of course, who was with us last weekend, the Formula 2 driver, just to have a bit of a play and fill in for one of the drivers who couldn't be here. 10 minutes to go. Are we going to have a new pole sitter in Euroformula Open this season, I wonder? Julian Hanses would pick up his 2nd pole position of the season if he can finish where he is. However, if Christian Hahn can tip him, who is in 2nd place, then that would be his 1st. So likewise, Billy Munger in 3rd hasn't yet started on pole this season either, but he has led 10 laps of a race, which is where he took his win back at the Pro Grand Prix.
Looking at the times, 1:24.942 is our fastest at the moment. That's comparable to free practice yesterday, where I believe the track was a little warmer. We have seen in previous rounds that there's kind of a temperature threshold in Euroformula Open. I think it's around 27 degrees air temp. Not quite sure on the track temp, but when it goes beyond that, tyres don't perform as well. I think we're below that threshold at the moment, but that means you can generate heat into the tyres, and it's not taking away performance, it's only adding performance.
And as the tyres are just getting, just getting tyres up to temperature, and Pierre-Louis Chauvet is on a flyer. I just wanted to ask you about Lucas Dunner, because it is his home race. Have you spoken to him this weekend about that? How is he feeling?
Indeed. He's enjoying it. It's obviously great for him to race here. Unfortunately, he's just had his best lap deleted for track limits, so he's down in 6th place at the moment. He didn't have the best free practice session, and neither did his Teo Martin Motorsport teammate Aldo Festante, which wasn't the greatest start. But his career ambitions are pretty cool. He wants to kind of do the Triple Crown of Motorsport, but not the traditional Triple Crown. He wants to win the Monte Carlo Rally. He wants to win one of the 24-hour sports car races.
Right.
He even wants to do truck racing.
Wow.
It's a great portfolio he wants to have. And obviously he thinks Euroformula Open's the best way to build the skills necessary.
This is where all the truck drivers come, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, he hasn't picked up a win so far this season, Lucas Dunner, but he does run 2nd in the championship. Is that playing on his mind at all coming into this weekend? Or is that spurring him on even more?
It's a question we asked at the beginning of the season, because he took pole for the season opener, but then he didn't win. And every time we've seen him start at the front, he hasn't quite converted that into victory. But when he does lose position, as we saw in the Hungaroring last weekend, he hassled Marino Sato for 17 straight laps. And he came very close to taking his 1st win. It was great performance and a great battle between the top 2. So if he can do the same again this weekend, it's obviously a lot easier to overtake on this track. As long as he's fighting at the front, I believe he could take his 1st win.
Well, Lucas Dunner there, we're talking about 17 years old, born in Vienna, Austria. So far has finished on the podium 5 times, including the last 3 races. He has yet to take a race win in single-seaters by my calculations. What a time it would be to do it this weekend.
Jack Doohan is currently in 14th and last place, but he's gone very quick in the first 2 sectors. He's coming around the last 2 corners. He has got traffic ahead of him. He might compromise his exit here, but he could jump up the order. We'll see as he crosses the line.
Here he comes now, and yes, he does. 3rd place. Good spot that. So Jack Doohan is up to 3rd, as you can see, with a time. There he is on screen in the number 7, 1:25.251. Jack Doohan getting a nice toe there right at the end of the lap to help him do that. So a good lap there.
And Linus and Lundqvist has just improved to 5th, and we're seeing him going very slowly. He's probably on a cool-down lap. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, RP Motorsport, he's in 8th place. He's just set a personal best 1st sector, a 22.147 seconds. So that's actually very quick. That might be on our screen on the TV display. It does say it's a purple sector, which is best of the session, but we're not quite sure of that. But he could go very quickly on this lap.
He could indeed. Let's have a look. So Pierre-Louis Chauvet in 10th at the moment. Linus Lundqvist, as you said, also on a flyer. We'll see if we have any improvements there. Here is the number 3 car of Pierre-Louis Chauvet round the final corner at the moment. Just over 6 minutes to go. Where can the Frenchman go on this lap? 11th at the moment, and he goes to 5th place. Very, very good lap that by Pierre-Louis Chauvet. Now through turn 1, he'll be very happy with that indeed. Just over 3 tenths back from pole position. It is very very, very close, isn't it? We have less than 2/10 between our top two, but between, and it's changing again, isn't it? We've just had Kjærgaard go to the top. Well, Nikolai Kjærgaard goes to provisional pole position. Lundqvist goes to second place. Hanses is in third place. All changing now.
Definitely, the times are going down very quickly, which suggests the rain isn't here. But look further down the order, Marino Sato, our championship leader, is only in 11th place.
Yes, he is. Sato struggling, but as you said, sometimes it is the last part of the session where everything changes. Javier Gonzalez has gone purple through the second sector. Lucas Dunner purple through the first. We pick up the number 8 now of Lucas Dunner. Here he comes in the white and red liveried car through the penultimate corner just ahead. That is the number 12 of Christian Hahn, who is 5th place at the moment. Personal best in 1 and 2, and he goes to the top. Christian Hahn, provisional pole position, 1:24.548 for Christian Hahn. Fantastic time from the Brazilian driver. Kjærgaard is now second, Gonzalez is third, Lundqvist is fourth, and Dunner is in 5th place at the moment. Now Marino Sato has done a personal best sector 1. He was quickest through the second sector. We pick up the number 33 Japanese driver now, unbeaten in the last 4 races. Where will Sato go? He goes to the top. Well, he was just saving it until the end, and Marino Sato by just under 3/10 goes quickest.
There's all change, but there's also several laps being deleted for track limits. We've had Rui Andrade, I believe, Pierre-Louis Chevet, car number 63's come through. That's Nikolai Kjærgaard, so he'll fall from 3rd place to possibly outside the top 10.
Well, where do you think this is for? Is going to be for turn 1 or the final 2 corners, surely?
Yeah, it's turn 9, the final corner. So despite the deterrence of the large curbing and various scrubbing off on track, people are still going very wide there. Sato's going faster again through the first sector.
Yep, Sato going very quickly. Now I can see Dunner's gone personal best through second sector, but in the first sector, Hanses is improving, Cameron Daz is improving, Kaylin Williams has improved in the first and second sector, the number 21 going along very quickly on this lap, but we are with the provisional pole sitter, the championship leader, Marino Sato, coming up to the penultimate corner now, and he's gone purple in sector 1, purple in sector 2. Can he go under the 1:24-minute mark? Let's have a look as he comes through the final corner now. 1:24.254 is his best and pole position time, but it's about to go quicker. 1:23.957. He is over half a second quicker than the rest of the field. Absolute masterclass out there at the moment from Sato.
That is the fastest lap we've seen all weekend, the first time anyone's broken to the 1:23s. That is a brilliant lap. We've got 1:22.254, somebody set, car number 33. That is Sato. So Sato actually must have gone quick on the previous lap and had that deleted.
Wow.
He's rapid at the moment.
Either that or he did take ridiculous track limits and just knew it was going to get a deleted time anyway. I think we're about to pick up Billy Munger. Let's have a look at what he is doing on this lap. He's down in 11th, but he's improved in sector 1 and 2. Billy Munger through the final corner. Where will the British driver go? Can he get inside the top 5 perhaps? Let's have a look. Yes, second place. Oh wow, and it's only by a 68 thousandths of a second behind Sato, who's had one of his times deleted. So Sato had his 1:23 lap deleted, and he's had another lap deleted, and Billy Munger is now pole position. Billy Munger pole position. Marino Sato, his best times have been deleted. We pick him up again, so now he has to do it all over again. But he's gone purple in sector 2. Will he be able to go to the top with this time? Let's have a look. Sato across the line. Yes, once again, 1:23.977. But it's a case, Elliot, of whether that time's going to be allowed.
That was practically identical to the previous time he set, which has gone set him on pole. Billy Munger's going fastest again, the best per sector 1, and Julian Hansen has just jumped up to second.
Wow.
For a rapid sector 3 time. We're hoping to see Billy Munger come through the second sector. We're seeing Jack Doohan on our screens. This is the Red Bull Ring. He is the only Red Bull Junior here this weekend, so he's under a lot of pressure as well. And let's see, Munger's second sector slow. I don't think it's going to be enough.
Oh no, it's slow, but on a par with Hanses, who's going pretty quick out there. So Hanses, oh, Billy Munger's had his time deleted. Billy Munger drops down to 12th with his time deleted. Oh, and he's gone wide, so that time's not going to count. That's certain that time will not count. And has he picked up any damage to the front wing?
He knocked out a bollard there, so that was more likely to cause damage on the floor. We're seeing him go through turn 1. He does look a little loose.
He did go 4th, and he's run wide again. Now, that time surely is going to be deleted. What's your view?
I think it already has.
Has it?
Yes. 124.322, which means he still has his 398 lap, which will put him 4th at the moment. We've also got car 3. That is Pierre-Louis Chauvet, who's already jumped back up to 9th. He's already responded to this. The drivers are fighting against the turn 9 as much as they're fighting against each other. Here's a replay of Billy Munger as he collects a bollard and several curbs.
Oh, wow. Well, an uncomfortable ride for Munger and Marino Sato. Let's see, he's still quickest, but there's only 10 seconds to go.
He's improved again to 1 minute 23.964.
6.4, yeah. And it was in the second sector where he did it all. So Sato, there he is on screen, up the hill towards turn number 3. He is absolutely flying, and the flag is out. Checkered flag out. Marino Sato is not improving on this lap and has bailed out of it. So now we wait to see who is going to cross the line. No one is improving out there. The only driver improving is Javier Gonzalez and Pierre-Louis Chauvet. Across the line, let's see, comes Rui Andrade, doesn't improve. Aldo Vestante, nor does he make a large improvement. Gonzalez did and went to 9th place. Now across the line comes Lucas Dunner, I think that was, and did not improve. 8th place, he's going to be bitterly, bitterly disappointed without the Austrian. Next across the line, I think, was Christian Hahn. Didn't improve, but I don't think he'll be at all disappointed. Sato is actually going round. I thought he bailed out of this one, but he is going round. I think Pierre-Louis Chauvet came across the line, did not improve. Sato does not improve either. Did a 124.2 though. That's still pretty impressive.
Julian Hans has set his personal best second sector. He'll be coming through the final 2 corners now.
Is this him across the line now? I think it is.
He doesn't close the gap to Sato.
Well, it was close, wasn't it? Very, very close. But Marino Sato has taken pole position once again in the Euroformula Open. Marino Sato, that is now going to be his 5th pole position of the season. What a fantastic performance from the Japanese driver.
Definitely, it's against the odds, having all of his times deleted, and he still takes pole position. On the opposite end of his scale, his title rival, Lucas Dunner. We've got a warning on screen. We've got several warnings, but he's one of the people who's been repeatedly told off for abusing track limits at turn 9.
Well, there you can see Julian Hanses. He is going to be 2nd. Here is the order on your screen now. So it's a Team Moto Park front row. And probably not for the first time either. Christian Hahn, 3rd place. Billy Munger, 4th. So an all-Carlin 2nd row. They were the last team to win here at the Red Bull Ring. They'll be hoping to do so again later on. Nikolai Kiergaard was 6th. Jack Doohan 7th. Then we had Javier Gonzalez 8th. Linus Lundqvist maybe slightly disappointed with 9th. Lucas Dunner will certainly be disappointed. Down in 10th place, the Austrian. And then we had Cameron Daz in 11th. Pierre-Louis Chauvet was 12th. Aldo Vestante 13th. Rui Andrade 14th. Any surprises for you there, both good and bad?
Lucas Dunner, this is an important round for him because he could close in on Marino Sato's title lead, and Sato's extended his lead by taking that extra point for pole. I think the Carlin duo, Christian Hahn and Billy Munger, and Nikolai Kiergaard in the 3rd Carlin car, hugely impressive result for those guys.
Yeah, well, our championship leader's on pole position. 5th in the championship is 2nd. Christian Hahn, what a performance from him. 8th in the championship. He is on the inside of row 2. Not a bad place to be at all. Billy Munger is going to be on the outside of row 2. Billy Munger sits 11th in the championship, so it's a good performance from him. Caelan Williams, 5th. Kiergaard, 6th. Then we had Doohan, Gonzalez, Lundqvist, but very disappointed. The home crowd will not be happy out there because their boy Lucas Dunner down in 10th. There you can see Marino Sato, your pole sitter, comes in to pit lane now. Very, very happy once again, Marino Sato.
Definitely, he's enjoying his time in Euroformula Open. He's applied himself a lot to get the results this year.
Here's a replay of something. Oh, is that Dunner? I think
That is definitely Dunner.
Yeah, let's have a look. Here he goes. Runs wide, takes those sausage curbs, and gets a bit of airtime at the same time. Here we go on board. Oh, well, that looked a little bit painful, but that was someone, I think, frustrated and pushing a little bit too hard.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if there was any suspension damage from that, because he obviously got jumped into the air at quite a height. Looking ahead at the race tomorrow, I think the man to watch is Billy Munger. On the first laps this year, he has been incredible at overtaking people from very poor qualifying performances. He usually overtakes 4 or 5 people on average, so if he's starting 4th, he could be in the lead by the end of the first lap.
And if there was damage for Dunner, maybe that will explain why he was down in 10th place. But Hanses, a front row start for him. He will be very, very happy with that. Julian Hanses has not been on the top step so far this season. Did take a 2nd at Po, 3rds at Hockenheim and Spa. Hanses, well, this would be a fantastic weekend for him to get onto the top step. That man has not really left it for a while, Marino Sato. And as for Christian Hahn, looking back at his season, his best score was at the Hungaroring 2nd race last week, where it was a 4th place. So Christian Hahn is improving as the season goes on.
Yeah, looking at drivers who have raced this track before, I think Sato and Hanses are the 2 most experienced drivers in the field here at this Red Bull Ring circuit. So it shouldn't be too surprising they're at the front, but we do have rain forecast.
Well, that's qualifying done. Join us for the race a little bit later on at 25 minutes past 2 local time here in Austria. Thank you very much. It has been a fantastic Euroformula Open qualifying session. I believe we're going to hear for the pole sitter now, Marino Sato, who is down in pit lane.
Marino Sato, another pole, but that was probably the closest one.
Yeah, to be honest, there was some issue on the radio with us. So I heard my lap time was cancelled several times, but I don't know what was the gap, and I didn't even know where I was. So yeah, the car was spot on, but there was few error from me, so that's sorry to the team. But yeah, we're looking forward for today's race.
And it looks like it's going to be a very tough battle today at the Red Bull Ring.
Well, we see how it goes.
Thank you. Well done. All the best.
Oh, very cool and composed, Marino Sato there.